Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm currently in my studio at the moment and I want to quickly show you, this is going to be kind of like a video diary of how I'm going to be showing you my darkroom setup. So I'm so excited that I'm going to be setting up my own darkroom rather than taking my film to Snappy Snaps or into Boots to get my film developed and printed. I'm actually going to be doing that completely by myself. So I'm going to be setting up my own darkroom in the bathroom just next door in my studio. But I wanted to quickly show you because I'm new to this, okay? So there might be people watching this that know already how to develop their own film or how to print it, etc. So this is new to me, okay? So bear with me if you're already up to speed with all of this. But I've never done it before. So I've got all the bits that I need to process the film. Printing it is a whole different kettle of fish. So I'm going to start with black and white because apparently black and white is a lot easier to process film than it is colour, because colour you need even more chemicals and it's more temperature sensitive, but we'll get onto all of that, or at least I will try to get onto that in other videos. But for this first video, I just wanted to show you kind of where in the studio I'm going to aiming to put it. I've got a couple of bits, I'll just show you this now. So this is all, it doesn't look like much, but this is all you need to process your negative. So when you take it out, rather than handing your finished roll of film, this is obviously new, rather than handing your finished roll of film to Boots or Snappy Snaps, I'm going to be able to process it myself. And then these are the chemicals you need to do it in black and white. So it looks all very fancy and very scientific. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. So you've got to get your film into this. This is the developing tank. This is where all of the magic happens right here. I'm just gonna prop you down over here so you can see what's going on. Excuse me. All right. So this is actually the developing tank. So you obviously need to do it in a complete dark room. So I've actually got a dark room bag. So what you do is you put your film and then all your bits inside this bag, and then again, very kind of scientific, you put your arms inside this dark bag, and then you start the process of taking the film out of the canister and then loading it into here. So I've got to learn, and I've already tried practicing with this, learning how to get it inside the tank without looking. So obviously I'm just kind of like, without the bag, I'm just kind of doing it with and just closing my eyes. But once you take it out of the canister, and I'll show you this again in the later episodes, you got to get it onto here. So this is one I've kind of preloaded, and obviously it's a dummy roll because I wouldn't be exposing it to the light like this. So once you get it on there, then you would then put it into the tank, load that on, and then that's when the process will start of you loading your chemicals one by one into it and slowly developing your film so that they're negatives that you can use. So, but we'll get onto that in another episode. So I've got all the bits. I'm going to start off with 400 T-Max film. I went on it's filmdev.org, and it's a great website that Western Cameras again recommended for me. And you go onto that, and there's lots of different examples of all different types of film, so you can get an idea of what film, what look it has, because they all have their own individual look. So I went with that one because it seemed like the most, I don't know, it looked very kind of safe. I didn't want to go too noir-y or too kind of artistic. I wanted to keep it simple for now, because and the whole reason I'm planning on doing this is because I want to do a brand new kind of portrait project. I'm going to kind of sit down because I'm kind of kneeling. All right, so I want to, no, I'm too low now, I'll just lean. So I want to do a new portrait project using film. So what I want to try and do is I want to photograph people that have a story to tell, a very unique story, something that I don't want to say defines them, but has played a big factor in their life. It could have been overcoming mental illness, or it could have been overcoming like a tragedy in their life and how that they're trying to get over it, or even just something simple like someone who has diabetes. I want to photograph these people using film, and it has to be film because to me, someone described film. I watched a video the other day, and someone described film. Film isn't perfect. And I thought, and that's true because we live in an age now where digital is like so glossy, and we expect digital image to look so perfect because everyone has access to Photoshop or Lightroom, or it's easily accessible now. And I think it's just people expect the best, and you know, with film it's not perfect because you have like the organic imperfections like light leaking and dust and scratches, and I think that's great because my subjects, people, are not perfect. We all have imperfections. We're all not perfect. So for me, film seems like the best way to go, and obviously it's fun as well. And the fact that I'm going to be processing it myself as well, just kind of adds to that. Adds another new layer of creative freedom to me. So what I'm planning on doing is when I take the photos of these people, we're then gonna go into my darkroom, and they're gonna be submersed in the creative process themselves, and develop it and process it there and then. So they'll have control and they can see it being made in front of their eyes. And all the while this is happening, I'm gonna be kind of interviewing them and have one of these lapel mics that I've got on right now, and so I'm going to be making videos with people. So you're going to see the pictures that are taken on film, but you're going to hear a very short snippet of the interview that I'm going to do. So you never you only see pictures of them, but with their story to tell. So kind of an extension to the caption that I've been doing on Facebook, where I kind of leave like a big caption of how I took the photo, or that person's journey, or that story. This is going to be kind of a different slant of that, because you're going to hear them rather than just me write their caption. So it's kind of like a different angle that I want to go with it. So I think that using film and using this idea, I'm going to do like a series of maybe 12 portraits with 12 different stories from people from all walks of life. And yeah, I just think it's just a different idea. It's a different personal project that I kind of thought of. It's a good excuse for me to use film. I'm going to be using a mixture of film. I'm going to be using a mixture of not so much Polaroid, because it's instant film and there's not a freedom to process it because it's there and then. But I'm going to certainly be using 35mm and 120 film. So my 35mm film I'm going to be using is the Canon AE1. I've only got a 50mm lens on it at the moment. I might see if I can invest, but obviously it's a great one to start off with. But the one that I'm interested in most, because 35mm is a more traditional SLR, but 120 is kind of more specialized. So 120 is kind of that shape. It's you can only fit 12 photos on here, so it captures at a much higher resolution than 35mm. And this is the 120 film that I'm going to be 120 film camera that I'm going to be using, which was very, very kindly loaned to me by my friend Shelley Oxford. I'll leave her stuff in the description below. Go check out her work. She's a phenomenal photographer. She took some pictures of me recently, which you can see here and here. But this is going to be the camera I'm going to be using. So you kind of look down into it. You might have seen me use this camera in some of my behind the scenes. I didn't actually use it necessarily. I just kind of used the viewfinder element with a macro lens. I'll leave a link to that video if you don't know what I'm talking about, with Nerina Pallot. So yeah, so it's exciting. And again, another element to it is that I can plug in, it's got a sync port here, so I can plug in modern studio strobes. So 2016 modern studio strobes combined with 1930s cameras, then processing it myself and printing it myself. I just think it's going to look really, really cool. It's going to be a different way of doing it. And as I say, the important thing is what I love about shooting portraits is getting the person's personality. No matter who I'm photographing, no matter what the client, no matter how big or small they are career-wise, it's the end goal is always the same for me, is trying to draw out their personality. I've done fashion before, but it's not as fashion doesn't excite me as working with bands, artists, musicians, real people that are trying to, they want pictures for them, not pictures because of the clothes that they are wearing. It's cool. Those jobs are fun, but working with people are just trying to get their personality out is king for me. And then shooting on this medium shooting on film, because everyone loves film, don't they? They love the idea of holding on to something. It's the nostalgia. It's why we go to HMV and pick up LPs. It's probably why they're still going, you know. It's that nostalgia. It's the reason why we like Instagram, and it's the reason why you edit your images to give it that film look. Well, I'm going to be using the real format, and there's going to be a greater sense of accomplishment if I can do this, because, you know, there's no room for error. Once it's snapped, it's done. Once it's processed, it's done. But it's just going to be something different, and hopefully it will go really well. But that's about it. I've already rambled way longer than I thought I was going to. But that's episode 1. That's my initial thought. This is why I'm doing it. And I will see you all on the next episode. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.